In the year 2000, Florida functioned as a massive financial loophole for the American middle class. A $50,000 salary provided a high standard of living, protected by the absence of state income tax and insurance premiums that were often negligible. With the median home price at approximately $105,500, Florida saw a massive influx of residents moving south to secure an affordable retirement. By 2026, the variables in that equation have shifted. The same salary in the same location now produce a different mathematical outcome, turning a predictable retirement plan into a period of rapid wealth depletion. The economic math of the state has inverted. The low-cost entry points that once defined the region have been replaced by a series of high-cost multipliers that reach critical mass before many residents could adjust. This chart shows a timeline of the All Transactions House Price Index for Washington State. It took Washington 46 years, from 1980 to 2026, for its index to climb from 100 to over 1,000. Florida's index reached that same 10x milestone in just 26 years. This represents a significant compression of cost of living increases compared to the national benchmark. When housing costs accelerate at this pace, they outrun the natural growth of local wages. In most markets, incomes have decades to catch up to rising prices, but this 26-year sprint has created a widening gap between what residents earn and what they must spend to remain in the state. Applying 50 years of economic shifts to a population in half that time has created a pressure cooker. It forces the middle class into a position where their fixed incomes are no longer compatible with the local floor for basic expenses. By mid-2026, the median single-family home price in Florida reached $410,000, a 400% increase from the 2000 baseline. Renters face similar challenges, with standard one-bedroom apartments averaging between $1,400 and $1,800. This has led to the sunk cost paradox. Homeowners are effectively locked into their current properties. They cannot afford to purchase new homes at 6% interest rates, yet the high cost of rent makes selling and moving into a smaller apartment financially unviable. While the state still lacks a formal income tax, that cost has been replaced by mandatory property insurance. The expense has simply moved from a tax ledger to a private insurance premium. Florida homeowners are now paying between $3,000 and $8,000 annually for property insurance, driven by severe coastal weather risks and high volumes of systemic litigation. For many, these unavoidable insurance payments now equal or exceed what they would have paid in state income taxes elsewhere. Daily necessities provide no relief. The logistical cost of transporting goods down the Florida peninsula, combined with regional inflation, has significantly raised the price of staples like milk and eggs when compared to 2000 levels. Beyond groceries, a major shift in healthcare policy has introduced a new financial risk for the middle class: the expiration of enhanced ACA subsidy. This chart shows the subsidy cliff. Earning just over the $60,300 federal poverty level threshold rockets monthly health premiums from $150 to $800. Combined with housing and insurance hikes, a middle-class household's disposable income quickly drops to zero. In this economic environment, a modest increase in gross pay can actually result in a net loss of take-home income due to the structure of these automated deductions. These individual budget pressures are beginning to affect the state's broader infrastructure. The rising cost of living is putting strain on the demographic dependency ratio, the balance between those who need services and those who provide them. Florida requires a steady supply of service workers and construction labor to maintain its infrastructure and support its aging population. A disconnect is forming. While the state attracts retirees who require medical and local services, the nurses, grocery employees, and laborers who perform those roles can no longer afford to live in the communities they serve. The long-term challenge of the region is not just the loss of individual wealth, but the potential for a structural breakdown in the local economy. Navigating this shift requires a deliberate change in financial strategy. Success in the current Florida economy is no longer a default outcome. It requires specific tactical adjustments. One approach is geographic. By moving to inland regions, residents can find areas where property insurance is more stable and less impacted by coastal weather risks. To manage healthcare costs, some residents are utilizing direct primary care models. This allows them to bypass the subsidy cliff by paying physicians directly, often for less than the cost of a traditional high-premium plan. Additionally, high inventory levels, resulting from the current housing gridlock, provide an opportunity for buyers to negotiate lower purchase prices, offsetting some of the impact of higher interest rates. The economic advantages that Florida offered in 2000 have changed. Protecting household wealth today requires a proactive defense against the rising costs that have come to define the state.